You've probably seen those viral clips. A mother drowning in childcare while her husband scrolls the phone. Or they're eating out and she takes care of all the kids while he focuses only on himself. The term is married single mother. But here's the thing. What you see in those 30 seconds is not the whole story. And without context, the internet often gets it completely wrong. I used to be a married single mother, and I want to put some nuance in this debate, because what's missing here matters. I am Emma, a medical doctor and abuse survivor. Let's get into it. If you would have seen a clip of my family eating out, you probably would have thought, wow, what a great husband and dad. He would fuss over me and he would finally take care of the kids for a while, and I would sit back in relief. But the reality, at home, I was working full-time, doing meals, cleaning children, while he was unemployed for years. When I asked him to do just one thing, school runs, he screamed at me that he would never do that. Yet in public, he magically transformed into super dad. That's not unusual. Toxic people deeply care about appearance. A restaurant isn't just a meal, it's a stage. Some people frame this trend as a man versus woman issue, but it's not that simple. I've also seen married single fathers. Men working full-time, doing errands, running kids everywhere, while their wife criticized, demanded more, controlled the finances, and ridiculed him. It's not about whether one parent works outside of the home and one parent stays at home. Couples can divide responsibilities however they see fit, but it should be shared and negotiable. My grandfather put it best. When he saw how much I was doing and how little my ex-husband was doing, I said to him, but he does help me. My grandfather shook his head and said, he's not supposed to help you. You're supposed to do this together. And here's another problem. Short clips make it obvious who looks like the bad guy. The comments then pile on. I'd never let a man treat me like that. But here's the truth. Neither would the woman in that clip. People don't start out showing who they are. They act like Prince Charming for years. That's how they build trust. In my case, the mask slipped after 14 years together. With a 2-year-old and a newborn, and a husband who started to withdraw. He became mean. He started to cheat on me. And when I tried to discuss it and set boundaries, he abused me. I then tried to leave, and he said that he would end my life if I ever left him. So let me ask you, what would you do? Would you walk away with 2 small babies, no income, and a man who was threatening your safety? Or would you stay and hope that this was just a crisis and that things would return to normal again? I stayed for another 7 years. Not because I had no self-respect, but because abuse creeps up slowly, and leaving isn't always safe. That's why victim blaming is so dangerous. It leaves people with the idea that if I just have enough self-respect, I'll be safe. While in reality, they should be educated about red flags and toxic behavior. Also, public opinion matters. When it comes to issues such as how much money you should spend on women's shelters, etc., it's important that we have compassion for these mothers who are fighting a war in their own home and not blame them for getting themselves abused. And finally, the term single mother doesn't really describe it. When one partner leaves all the responsibility on the other, it's not laziness. It's often entitlement, lack of empathy, and hidden control. After I left, people sometimes said, "It must be so hard being a single mom now." But honestly, being a true single mother is much easier than living with someone you have to serve, tiptoe around, and fear might explode or sulk. For me, becoming a single mother was not the hard part. It was freedom. If this video brought you clarity, I recommend you checking out my playlist on red flags in relationships. I will link it right here. On Friday, we will discuss the question, if the toxic person isn't that bad, can you stay with them? Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss it. I'm Emma, holding up a light over the bridge. See you in the next video.